Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Your breakfast of the champion. Thank you for everyone to come in. We have a few more people coming in. Here we go. Welcome this morning at Regency Wine Nevada and Hillside Wine and Spirit Zoom trading, Zoom monthly. We do a monthly, which is the first Friday of the month. Welcome to Hillside Wine and Spirit and Regency Wine Nevada. As you all know, what we're trying to do here is to bring over the best of the best for each region. And today I do have the pleasure to introduce you to Jean-Marc Lafont and his wife Annick to the beautiful property of Domaine Bel in Beaujolais. We also do have online Jeremy, which is the agent based in France. Jeremy is going to assist Jean-Marc to talk about the property. He's going to do a little translation as well, as Jean-Marc English is not perfect, but we want to be sure that you understand everything said. He said it, I didn't say anything yet. Here we go. So obviously everybody is in Reno, Las Vegas, Los Angeles. Welcome to this beautiful session again. Let's start the pleasure, but before we do that, we have obviously something that we do every time we start our session. Everybody needs to grab the glass of the Beaujolais Village. Grab your glass. Let's cheers to this beautiful business, to the beautiful people making exceptional wine, and the beautiful people knows how to share the passion to the customer and to the guest. Cheers to everyone. Let's start the session by introducing you. Cheers. And of course, we have to look at everybody's eyes, and we have to have a little glass of it. Salute. Thank you. Good to see you, Jean-Marc and Annick Lafont. You are here in Beaujolais. We are very, very happy to have you coming in and to share the passion with us. So we are going to put you on a big screen right here. Welcome to our little community of Hillside and Regency Wine. Thank you so much to take the time to introduce yourself and to the beautiful property. And it looks like you're on the front of your house right here. Good morning. Bonjour.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure for us to welcome in our Beaujolais area and to present our property and our wine, also our Beaujolais wine, and to share with you all the pleasure to be with you.
Beautiful. So we're right here in the village of
Lantignier.
Lantignier is right here. So we're in the front of your house, and it looks like on the background is the beautiful valley. And tell us a little bit more about your location and how beautiful this region is about, and maybe tell us a little bit more. Oh, this beautiful house! Look at that. This is a family house, I believe.
No, it's not a family house, but we bought this house 20 years ago.
20 years ago, beautiful. And tell us your background. Are you from Beaujolais? How did you fall to this business, and how did you start the business as far as Domaine Bel?
Okay, so we are going to the place to give you an answer easily. So we are going.
Okay, beautiful. So do this. Get set up on your desk, and right now I'm going to try to share a little maps for everyone, just to be sure that we all know where we at and all the different crus of Beaujolais. So obviously everybody knows where Beaujolais is. It's in a beautiful large area of Burgundy. Here we go. So we're terroir of Beaujolais right here. Everybody see the screen? So the terroir of Beaujolais, just to give you the geography of the location, you can see it's very much detailed. I do have another map right here that I can share with you. Fantastic, right here. So this is all the crus of Beaujolais. You can see then the Beaujolais crus are how many villages? We have 10 villages, correct, Jean-Marc?
Oui, vous avez ici l'ensemble des terroirs des crus du Beaujolais. Alors, si vous remontez un petit peu la carte, on verra également le village de Lantigné qui est juste en bordure des Crus. Et c'est là où nous produisons nos Beaujolais villages.
Ici à Lantigné, right here.
Un petit peu plus bas, Bruno, s'il vous plaît.
Comme ça?
Super,
Yeah.
parfait, perfect.
Oh, you can see on the map.
Yeah.
You can see on the map Lantigné, a small village close to Beaujolais. You see Beaujolais on the left side of the map. Annick and Jean-Marc decide to take over ownership of the domain in 1986, like Annick just said. When Jean-Marc's father retired after a long career in the same domain, he was an employee.
Nice. So how many generations behind this property?
3 generations.
Third generation behind this property, okay. Jean-Marc, tell us how Beaujolais is so special in your heart, and tell us a little bit more about why do you think the terroir of Beaujolais is so special and why it's so special?
Le terroir est très spécial.
En fait, le Beaujolais est un vignoble à part puisqu'il est, il est composé de 2 styles, dans son ensemble de 2 styles de terroir. Tout le sud du Beaujolais est situé sur des sols argilo-calcaires. C'est là où nous produisons les Beaujolais blancs et beaucoup de Beaujolais nouveaux. Et tout le nord, où je vous laisse Jérémy faire la traduction, je finirai le reste. Après, je présente le nord.
So on this, Jean-Marc was saying on the side of Beaujolais, the terroirs are mostly argilo-calcaire, and the terroir of Beaujolais is very specific from one area to other, and he does have a lot of diversity. So now he's going to explain the north side of the appellation.
Voilà, donc tout le nord, en fait, tout le secteur du nord du Beaujolais est situé sur des sols granitiques. C'est la grande spécificité de ce secteur, c'est-à-dire que les Beaujolais villages et les 10 crus du Beaujolais sont situés sur des sols granitiques.
So all the crus, all the 10 crus, are on granitic soils, and this is very particular to Beaujolais region. As you can see here, you can see a blue granite. Okay, so the blue granite comes from the Beaujolais village appellation from Jean-Marc Lafont. The one that you're tasting now, les granites bleus, means the blue granites.
L'autre particularité aussi de ce vignoble, c'est le cépage, le gamay noir, qui est un cépage qui est pas très répandu dans le monde, beaucoup moins répandu que le chardonnay ou que le pinot noir, par exemple. Mais c'est un cépage très particulier qui donne des vins avec beaucoup d'élégance, beaucoup de finesse, beaucoup de fraîcheur. Et c'est une des particularités des vins que nous produisons dans cette région.
Jean-Marc was just mentioning about the grape variety, the red grape variety from Beaujolais region, which is the Gamay, not super known at the international scene, but he does have all the specificity making high-end wines here. He does have the elegancy, finesse, and freshness.
Je vous parlais tout à l'heure des 10 crus du Beaujolais qui sont situés donc sur le nord de ce vignoble. La grande particularité, c'est d'avoir une géologie des sols qui est bien sûr axée sur les sols granitiques, comme j'ai pu le dire, mais avec des multitudes de sols granitiques. C'est-à-dire que Géologiquement, ce vignoble date entre 300 et 500 millions d'années. Pour mémoire, la Bourgogne, ce n'est que 140 millions d'années.
So Jean-Marc just mentioned about the geology of the terroir and the soils in Beaujolais. The majority of the soils are granitics, and the soils are dated from 300 to 500 million years ago. And to give you an idea, Burgundy region is just 140 million years ago. So meaning the Beaujolais region and their soils are much more older than Burgundy and even Bordeaux.
So you definitely are very proud about that, because I know it's always a controversy between the people in Burgundy producing in Burgundy with Pinot Noir and the people producing in Beaujolais with Gamay. We do understand that for most of the people knows then Beaujolais and Burgundy are pretty much the same region. It's the Grande Bourgogne. But what is the feeling of Jean-Marc and Annick about this little battle between the Beaujolais Cru and the Burgundy?
La bataille entre les Beaujolais et la Bourgogne, parce qu'on dit que les Beaujolais font partie de la Grande Bourgogne.
Oui, alors le Beaujolais, effectivement, fait partie de la Grande Bourgogne. Grande Bourgogne qui commence par les coteaux du Lyonnais et qui se termine à Chablis. Donc, c'est un territoire qui est relativement vaste, mais avec des sols relativement différents. Les Beaujolais, nous sommes un vignoble qui est un peu à part de la Grande Bourgogne, puisque nous sommes avec un cépage différent. Et puis, on n'est pas tout à fait les mêmes vignerons qu'en Bourgogne. La Bourgogne et à Chablis, nous échangeons beaucoup nous avons beaucoup d'amis en Bourgogne, mais parfois on ne voit pas, parfois on nous dit que nous sommes un peu les Marseillais de la Bourgogne avec du tempérament, c'est ce que l'on nous dit parfois.
Jean-Marc, just saying, you are right. Beaujolais can be described in the great Burgundy region, from Coteaux du Lyonnais to Chablis. Jean-Marc actually have a lot of friends in Burgundy from Chablis, and he understands the soils and the philosophy of their terroir. But he said Beaujolais has has a wide diversity of soils and a lot of characteristics that Burgundy do not have, or different ones.
Okay, so it's also, if I may say that, for the translation, Jean-Marc just mentioned to us that the people in Burgundy doesn't feel that the Beaujolais people should be part of it. But I have to say, and that's why I'm bringing over these comments to you guys, then I believe that Beaujolais has to offer today as much as what Burgundy Pinot Noir has to offer in the market. And that's why we love the Cru of Beaujolais, and that's why I was pushing to get this event to happen, because I really want to share my passion for this old vine Gamay. And you can find also amazing terroir of granite in Beaujolais. So that was my little point about it. I know then most of us do have to have a diversification of our program in our wine list. And I believe then a Beaujolais Cru should be always on the wine list. And doesn't have to be on the Beaujolais, but you can put also the Beaujolais Cru to the Burgundy section on your wine list if you don't want to create a Beaujolais selection. That was my little point of that. Let's talk a little bit more about the specific of the wine and the specific of winemaking. So let's take as an example the Beaujolais Village, for example. Tell us a little bit more about this specific wine, this specific vineyard, and tell us a little bit more about how you make this wine.
Jean-Marc, en fait, on vous demande comment vous faites le vin, comment vous le vinifiez, quel est le style du Beaujolais Village.
Alors, déjà, le territoire où nous produisons le Beaujolais Village, c'est le territoire que nous avons vu tout à l'heure quand nous étions à l'extérieur. Donc, une des grandes spécificités des Beaujolais villages que nous produisons, c'est donc des vignobles de coteaux. Faut le rappeler, c'est pas du tout un vignoble de plaine, c'est un vignoble de coteaux. Comme vous l'avez montré tout à l'heure, la spécificité de nos Beaujolais villages, les granites bleus, c'est d'être sur des sols granitiques. Toute l'exposition du domaine est plein sud, donc nous avons une exposition parfaite pour produire des vins à la fois riches et mûrs.
Okay, so Jean-Marc was saying the Beaujolais village wines that he produced are just surrounded his house. The nice landscape you just had at the first of the connection, and all the vineyard you saw are on hillsides. No much vineyards from his Beaujolais village are on flatter soils or plain, and that makes the wines very rich with a very charming profile, because all the vineyards are exposed to the south, so there is a sun exposure.
Fantastic. So pretty much the valley floor doesn't exist on Beaujolais Village. Most of the people will think Beaujolais Village is a valley floor, but it's not. It's on the hillside, and the exposure is in the south. So it gives you a beautiful exposure to a beautiful ripeness of the wine. And of course, we're working with a very old vine, Gamay. That's a great definition. I think, can you tell us a bit more about this vintage, the 2019 compared to 2018? What was the difference?
La vinification. Alors, la vinification, le millésime 2019, c'est un fantastique millésime que nous avons récolté à partir du 7 septembre 2019. Chez Bel Air, toute la récolte se fait manuellement. C'est tout ramassé, récolté à la main. Et après, la vinification est une vinification qui est très particulière au Beaujolais, que nous appelons la vinification carbonique ou grappe entière. C'est-à-dire que le raisin, pour exprimer la meilleure qualité d'un bon Beaujolais village, le raisin doit être ramassé à la main et être mis dans la cuve le plus intact possible, sans égrappage pour cette partie-là.
Okay, so 2019 vintage was outstanding, guys. They start the vintage, the hand harvest on 7 September 2019. At Jean-Marc property, everything is fully hand harvested, and the vinification is so special because they do carbonic vinification, meaning they keep the entire grapes they putting in the tanks, and the idea is to get the entire grapes without bursting the grapes, and no liberate juice, and that makes no oxidation for the wine, so you get a better quality.
Fantastic. So I really believe this show very, very well in the glass, but I'm going to pick someone to describe this beautiful wine. As you all understand, we are talking about semi-carbonic fermentation, meaning that you have to have the healthy grapes picked up by hand, and they have to be in a perfect condition to create the perfect harmony and the perfect freshness of the grape. So I am going to take someone, and I would love, instead of picking up someone, I would love to have someone wave. I'm going to put on the gallery view. I'm going to see everyone right here. I hope everyone is excited about this wine. As anyone want to give me a little descriptive of this wine? Is anybody in for it? You know, guys, if you don't wave your hand, I am going to pick someone. I am going to pick someone, and I usually pick a lady first. Ladies first, lady. Sarah. It looks like you write it down and you're right here. You're beautiful. Good morning, Sarah. Do you
Good
mind to take over this descriptive? Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, I'm still breaking it down, but I can tell you what I have in front of me. Sure.
Yeah.
Good morning. So on the nose, I get almost like a dusty soil, some dried floral notes, like dried flower petals, as well as some dried fruit like plum and fig, black cherry. It's almost like this perfumey cologne thing going on too for me. I'm still breaking it down. Well balanced with acidity on alcohol, super juicy on the palate. And that's pretty much as far as I got right now. I'm still writing.
That's great. I can see that. Thank you so much. Description is always very specific with you. I really love it. Does anybody else want to bring anything else to the table here and want to add anything to this descriptive? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, I want to let you think for a sec about it. Why don't we just invite Diana to tell us a little bit more about her cheese pairing today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me again. So Beaujolais, not something that I am very familiar with. As we all know, mostly just cheese is in my brain. So I love learning with all of you. But when I tasted these wines a few days ago, one of the things that struck me about this Beaujolais is like a lot of like tart red fruit on the nose, dark cherry sort of notes here, moving into sort of deeper fruits on the palate for me, finishing with a little bit of like an herbal, earthy, there's slight minerality coming forward for me. So I know that Beaujolais is not as heavy, or at least this one. I don't know much about my wines yet.
No, that's good.
So, but for me, fresh, softer cheeses are always going to be an easier choice on the palate, in my opinion. So today we actually went ahead and did this Beaujolais Village with the driftless. This is actually a fresh, spreadable ewe's milk cheese that has an inclusion of basil and olive oil. So what happens here on the palate is when you actually introduce the cheese first, and then let that saturate the palate, and then introduce the wine, it brings forward the red fruit really frontal on the palate. So the ripe red fruit comes forward, tart cherry comes forward, and then a nice earthy complexity finishes, while also elevating the fat-forward nature of sheep milk cheeses in general. So there's a lovely prolific butteriness that just sits beautifully in the palate while the other notes are at play. So it almost paints a beautiful picture upon like a canvas of like lactic, buttery sheep milk. So it's a really fun pairing.
Diana, you're always on the top of your game here. If anybody doesn't know about Diane, she on the beautiful cheese store in Anderson Valley, Nevada. Obviously very close to Las Vegas. I really, everybody doesn't know about her store. Please come visit her. She's always going to have a great reference and a great descriptive about the wine and the cheese than she actually carry on at the store. So please, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, I know that Jean-Marc did have a little cheese on his on the front of him.
Yes.
Jean-Marc, can you tell us what was your descriptive? I mean, what was the cheese that you have?
It's a goat cheese.
And
Goat cheese.
Saucisson.
And a French sausage.
Wow, beautiful. Saucisson and goat cheese. So where is it the goat cheese made in your region? Ce fromage est fait dans votre région?
Bien sûr, oui, bien sûr. Juste à quelques kilomètres.
Le nom du fromage, s'il vous plaît.
C'est des fromages de chèvre du Beaujolais. Parfois, on appelle ça crottin Beaujolais.
Yeah, it's a local chef, yes?
Yeah, that's what they're explaining to me. There are goat cheese made in Beaujolais, and it's pretty well known over there. It's the perfect pairing for their Beaujolais village. Very well.
Bruno, j'aimerais tellement vous dire que nous aimerions partager avec tout le monde à la fois ce verre, le saucisson et le fromage, tous en Beaujolais, vous accueillir.
Et tous ensemble,
ça serait,
en Beaujolais.
Car une des valeurs fondamentales du Beaujolais, c'est le partage. Et nous aimons beaucoup, c'est réellement un vin de partage et de convivialité avec des bons amis. Et on peut faire une dégustation avec Zoom, c'est fantastique, mais c'est quand même beaucoup mieux lorsque tout le monde est autour de la table.
Et en Beaujolais, et avec plaisir, avec grand plaisir avec vous tous.
Very well. Thank you so much for the invitation. For everyone, it looks like Jean-Marc and Annick, we all invited in Beaujolais because Beaujolais is well known for sharing, and the Beaujolais village and the Beaujolais that they are made to share with others. And again, if anyone goes to Beaujolais, please let us know, then we will hook you up with a beautiful tour and a visit, and of course a tasting at Domaine Bel with Jean-Marc and Annick Lafont. Thank you so much to share that with us. Let's move on because we have to get going. Let's move on with the second wine. Let's move on with Brouilly. Let's talk a little bit more about those appellations. Let's be sure then we explain what Brouilly is so special and what is the component of the soil of terroir of Brouilly. That would be great. Okay, so everyone grab the second glass. We are now going with the Brouilly 2018 Briante. Fantastic one as well, you will see. And tell me what you think. And Jean-Marc is going to tell us a little bit more about the difference between the Beaujolais village and his Brouilly. La différence, s'il vous plaît, Jean-Marc, des sols et du descriptif du Brouilly.
Brouilly est donc un des 10 crus du Beaujolais. C'est celui qui est le plus au sud de la région. C'est aussi un des plus grands, un peu plus de 1200 hectares, je crois. Et en fait, la particularité de Brouilly, c'est d'être autour d'une colline. L'appellation Brouilly est, comment dire, composée à la fois de tout un secteur sur le pourtour d'une montagne, et les collines de cette montagne sont en appellation Côte de Brouilly.
Very well. Go ahead, Jérémy.
Yes. So Brouilly is part of the 10 crus from Beaujolais region. Brouilly is located at the south of Beaujolais, and the Brouilly is composed by a lot of hills and mountains, and the appellation is one of the largest appellation in Beaujolais, about 1,200 hectares. And Jean-Marc was saying this appellation does have a lot of different soils, and you can see on the map here the Côte de Brouilly, and I can share with you this nice piece of gallet. It's a gallet, it's pebbles, like a river rock, a very old river rock from Brouilly appellation.
Can you show me on the map exactly where this Brouilly is made of? I mean, from where?
Jean-Marc, pouvez-vous montrer ou expliquer sur la carte où est fait votre vin?
Alors, je ne vois pas la...
C'est bon.
There we go. Alors, nous sommes sur le secteur de Saint-Lager, qui est, voilà, un peu à droite. Voilà, on est sur ce secteur. Vous allez trouver encore, voilà, Beauvoir, Briante, Gorge de Loup. Voilà nos secteurs ici où nous sommes. Vous voyez, Briante, tout ce secteur. Donc, c'est un secteur qui est composé d'alluvions anciens. Donc, on est à mi-coteau, on est à mi-pente, on est moins pentu que sur nos Beaujolais villages. Et on est sur des sables de mi-coteau, et avec ces roches de granit, mais qui ont en fait beaucoup roulé et qui sont en fait des éboulis qui ont été usés par la sédimentation et le temps en fait.
Ouais, Jeremy.
So he was mentioning about the sediments and the rock I have on hand that was used million years ago by the erosion of the soils. And you can see on the map, it was pointing where the vineyards of Domaine Bel are. So you see Briante or Briante, and the wine itself does have the name of the terroir on the front label, Briante.
Very good.
La particularité, le style de l'appellation Brouilly, donc c'est un cru du Beaujolais, mais c'est toujours un cru qui a beaucoup de fruits, beaucoup de rondeur, jamais d'acidité, toujours très souple. C'est un vin qui est très facile de consommation, avec un spectre qui est très très large de consommation. On peut boire ça aussi bien sur de la charcuterie, en apéritif, parfois même sur des poissons. C'est un vin très rond, très souple, avec une petite empreinte minérale, beaucoup moins que Morgon, que Moulin à Vent, mais par contre des vins qui ont beaucoup un très joli fruit de milieu de bouche, un côté très gourmand, très charmeur.
About Brouilly tasting, the Briante does have a lot of subtle tannins, rich symphony of fruits with a touch of minerality. It's an easy going cru from Beaujolais, meaning it can be served with different type of food, like some fishes, but also charcuteries, or just by itself. And Jean-Marc just insists on the fact Brouilly is the easiest cru to taste, with a lot of fruits, cherry on the palate, some forest red fruits, and a touch of sweet boxes, sweet spices.
He also insists that it's going to be a vin gourdellant. So Brouilly is well known to be vin gourdellant. So for everybody who doesn't understand what gourdellant means, it's a wine that you can drink over and over. Then it's very inviting. And that's what this Brouilly is so special. Now, we do have a question on the chat box from our buddy Frédéric. And I think it's a very clever question. In Châteauneuf-du-Pape, we said that the cobblestone really help the reflection of the sun to the vineyard to ripe the grapes in a very good way. Is that the same fact in Brouilly?
Jean-Marc, on vous demande le terroir de Châteauneuf-du-Pape de Galets-Roulés, est-ce qu'il a le même effet sur les vins comme dans Brouilly avec oui.
Il y a des galets roulés chez nous, mais il y en a quand même relativement moins qu'à Châteauneuf-du-Pape. On n'a pas en surface autant de roches qu'à Châteauneuf-du-Pape, et surtout les galets que nous avons sont plus petits. À Châteauneuf-du-Pape, ce sont des galets qui sont un petit peu plus gros, et je ne crois pas qu'on ait vraiment le même sous-sol dessous.
It's a different type of soil. In Châteauneuf-du-Pape, there are a lot of big pebbles that we name, and they're numerous. While in Brouilly appellation, we have a smaller pebbles like this, and it doesn't have any effect on the vines itself, because the particularity of Brouilly is also undergrowth, and all the sediments inside the soil.
Nice. So obviously they do have a little bit of the cobblestone, but they obviously don't have as much as in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. But yeah, so but you can see that the Brouilly does have this amazing complexity, I believe, on the mid palate. But I'm not going to be here to describe the wine, because that's not really my duty today. I'm going to take obviously someone in the group here, or someone can actually come to me and try to describe this wine. You're welcome to. I would love to have one of you guys. Gentlemen, this is the time for you to shine. You have to take your glass and describe this beautiful Brouilly. Who's up to that? Ready? I'm going to pick one if nobody want to take it, the lead. Philippe. What do you think, Philippe? I'm so happy. So Philippe, our buddy Philippe, is at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills. He's the new sommelier at Jean-Georges and Waldorf Astoria. Thank you so much, Philippe, to be here. Tell us what you think about this Brouilly.
On the nose, I think both of them so far are like in really Burgundian. They're really dusty. They're really earthy. There's a lot of wet earth, kind of like decaying leaf, even a little like graphite on there as well. I agreed earlier with a lot of underripe red fruit, but more like cranberry, pomegranate, super tart red cherry. Really herbaceous as well, but again, I think the earth is standing out more than anything. The Brouilly has a lot more structure than the Beaujolais Village. The acid's a little higher, the tannin's a little higher. It definitely needed a good 10 minutes or so in the glass to really start to shine. I think it was a little tight, but it's got a lot of life in it. Super easy to drink. The tannin doesn't linger very long. Just a little bit of a chill on it, and I think it's going to be something you can sip outside all summer long and have no complaints whatsoever.
That's great. Thank you. The description is great, Philippe, like always. Thank you so much to be part of that. Is anybody else want to take the lead to add anything to this Brouilly or any of these two wines? Anybody want to mention something? Anybody want to bring anything to the table here? It looks like no question. So far, so good. Fantastic. That's going to be so. Diana is going to tell us on the second wine, which cheese did you pick?
This one was actually a little tough for me. I got I got a little bit of baking spice and a little bit of like bell pepper as well. So there were definitely some vegetal earthy notes that were coming through for me. But also with the red fruit, I wanted to go goat this time. So I actually did a Leon. I did a Spanish goat's milk cheese. The people that have cheese today have a Spanish goat's milk cheese called Leonora. Classically in the Bourgogne region, you do see a lot of like vegetal tones in your soft ripens. Your Bries, your Délices de Bourgogne are going to have mushroomy, salty, creamy notes, but they're cow's milk. So I wanted to do something that was mushroomy and salty and a little bit heavier bodied in a goat's milk. So for me, that was Leonora. Soft ripened, you get a lot of earthy, mushroomy, vegetal, cultured cream, bright acidity, a little bit of citrus. And then when those two combine, the heavier body of the Brouilly is a little bit easier for the density of the goat's milk cheese. So they sort of play nicely together on the palate. You're going to get a lot of vegetal tones coming through on the finish, the mushroomy specifically. And instead of the last pairing where we had a lot of butter come forward, we're going to have a lot of cultured cream come forward and a really highlighting tanginess of the goat's milk that comes forward here as well. There is an alternative pairing that I put together this morning, which is from the Basque country in France called Adar. And it is a mixed milk sheep and goat cheese, and it's actually cave ripened the same way Mimolette is cave ripened. So it gets a nice mottled rind and is a lot of fun. So the one that everybody has is Leonora, the Spanish soft ripened goat's milk. And then there is an alternative pairing here at the shop for those of you locals who want to try that one as well.
Superb, Diana, so specific on your cheese. I love it. My water is watering right now. I just want to get to your shop and get some of those cheese. Thank you so much. Everybody, please go visit Diana at the cheese store in Anderson Valley. That would be just a treat for yourself and your family. Buy a lot of cheese, buy a lot of wine. That's what it is. Thank you, Diana, again. Thank you so much.
Don't go to Anderson Valley. That's very, very far.
Yes, it is. Jean-Marc, Annick, tell us a little bit more about how you see Beaujolais coming up. What do you think then Beaujolais is about in France? Tell us what the Beaujolais does today to be a little bit more present in the market. Tell us what is your vision of Beaujolais in general for winemaking to evolution of sales or something like that. Jean-Marc?
L'évolution des vins du Beaujolais, alors elle change à plus d'un titre. En fait, elle change aussi les vins de notre région. Le Gamay est un cépage, je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, fin et élégant. Et en fait, le réchauffement climatique, depuis une vingtaine d'années, que moi j'observe d'année en année sur la date des vendanges, mais aussi sur le style des vins, puisque depuis une vingtaine d'années, nos gamets sont maintenant un petit peu plus riches, un petit peu plus charnus, parfois un petit peu plus alcoolisés aussi. Il y a 25 ans ou 30 ans, les vins du Beaujolais étaient souvent des vins légers, alors qu'aujourd'hui, on est sur des vins qui sont un petit peu plus construits et un petit peu plus riches. Donc ça, c'est sur le style des vins, le réchauffement climatique a changé. Après, ça a aussi changé car les viticulteurs ont beaucoup fait progresser les qualités de nos vins. On parlait tout à l'heure de ces cartes de terroir. On a fait des très très gros travaux de recherche pour vraiment adapter la vinification vraiment au terroir afin d'avoir quelque chose de très précis. Et puis, pour finir, le goût des consommateurs est aussi en train de changer. Vous savez, on a eu les années avec les vins où tout le monde, le consommateur voulait des vins très extraits, très chauds, très riches. Et aujourd'hui, on veut des vins digestes avec de la fraîcheur, de la gourmandise, des vins à partager. Donc, je trouve que le vignoble a quand même beaucoup progressé et à un tel point que depuis 12 mois de Covid, pratiquement un peu plus de 12 mois de Covid, le Beaujolais est pratiquement la seule région en France qui a continué à voir ses volumes non seulement se vendre, mais très légèrement progresser, alors que plein d'autres vignobles étaient en baisse de manière très importante.
Okay, so Jean-Marc was saying over the last 12 months since COVID started, the Beaujolais region is one of the regions that's still developing with a little rate, but still developing versus the Rhone Valley or the Burgundy or some other places. So it's very encouraging for the region. He was mentioning about the Gamay, the king grape of Beaujolais, of the Beaujolais region. And he was saying it's a grape, again, fine and elegant. And since the global warming affecting the vineyards, the structure of the Beaujolais wines have considerably changed. And what we did in the past, light body Beaujolais with a good structure, now all the Beaujolais wines produced by several producers are very different, giving a richer profile, softer tannins, but with a lot of complexity, sometimes a little more alcoholic than they used to do in the past. And that take advantage or not of Beaujolais region, but the style of Beaujolais is changing. And the viticulteurs, the wine growers have been working very well, improving their style, their philosophy, the quality of their wines over the last years, making a better structured wines. And they also work on terroir. And as we saw a couple of minutes ago on the maps, a lot of works were done by the government, and the Interprofession des Vins du Beaujolais, the Union of Beaujolais Producers, that invest almost 1 million euros discovering the complexity and the diversity of the soils and the terroir in Beaujolais. So now we can say they know better their vineyards and soils, and that take advantage of making a higher quality. So Beaujolais now is getting higher and has a much more popularity at the international scene.
Fantastic. I have to say then Beaujolais definitely have an impact in the market. I have a quick story for you guys. Then I remember that most of you, when we do a long testing during the day, then we test a lot of Californian Cabernet, a lot of Bordeaux, and we obviously testing because we want to be sure our program run properly. Then we have all the wine in the wine list. At the end of the day, we're tired, our palate is tired. And the only thing that we're thinking about is to grab a Crus Beaujolais and just enjoy the rest of the night to go back to the business the next day. So Beaujolais for me is a go-to. Goulillon wine. I think the experience for the guest with Beaujolais is always a wow effect, and the wow effect, that's what we want for the experience of the guest. We are very proud and very happy to present Domaine Bel because I believe Jean-Marc and his wife Annick are very passionate about their terroir, very passionate about making wine in a perfect way. And I believe also that they are very, very much in love with their terroir. Can you, Jean-Marc, tell us very quickly, we still have a few minutes, to tell us about what is the technique of wine growing that you use? Are you sustainable? Are you biodynamic, organic? What is your approach on that?
Alors, on parlait de l'évolution du vignoble, du Beaujolais. Pour notre part, à Bel Air, depuis maintenant près de 30 ans, depuis 1992, nous avons été les pionniers de ce que l'on appelait à l'époque la production raisonnée, c'est-à-dire aucun traitement systématique. Ça nous a permis de participer à la création de Terravitis et dès le départ. Et puis depuis maintenant 3 ans, nous sommes également référencés au sein de l'administration française par le label Haute Valeur Environnementale, qui est une valeur, qui est une certification qui est agréée par l'État français, qui est pas tout à fait le bio. Nous ne sommes pas encore tout à fait en bio, car je pense que ça sera la prochaine étape dans quelques années, peut-être 2 ans, peut-être 3 ans. Mais le vignoble du Beaujolais était par le passé beaucoup avec des ceps très bas, très proches du sol. Et nous sommes en train de restructurer totalement ce vignoble en mettant des ceps un petit peu plus haut, avec des palissages, pour que l'on puisse travailler le sol dessous et ne plus utiliser de pesticides en dehors des traitements. Donc ça, c'est notre philosophie à nous. On est vraiment sur un chemin de progression à ce niveau-là. Et je pense que dans 2 ans, 3 ans, nous serons certainement en bio sur le domaine. Mais en fait, je reprends beaucoup de recettes qu'utilisait mon père il y a déjà 30 ans, 35 ans, avec des produits très simples et une conduite de la vigne vraiment très respectueuse de l'environnement.
Jean-Marc is saying that he does take a lot of lessons from his fathers in the past that work in the vineyard and manage the same winery for all his life. So he does have this experience, and he also mentioned about the certification of the vineyard. So they do own 60 acres of vineyards, spread between Brouilly, Moulin à Vent, Beaujolais Village, Fleury, and Morgon. and they do not have a biological organic certification, but they think to have it in 2 years. It's just a question of time. Right now, they are certified HVE, which means high environment value, which is a new certification that came on board after TerraViti certification, which was already a certification specialized in the sustainable vineyards. So what Jean-Marc wants to teach you today, the TerraViti, so the HV level 3 certification, does have an impact on how to work in the vineyard, because it reduces consistently the phytosanitary products in the vineyard. It doesn't have a lot of treatments, and they are also right now trying to hire the plant, the grape, because it used to be very very small and very close to the soil, and that caused some disease to the vineyard. So by hiring the vineyard, I mean the grape, the vine, sorry, it does have an effect, and it does not protect and preserve the vineyard against the disease, the mildew, and so many others disease that you can find in the vineyard. I think I did forget the one on 1992. Since 1992, Beaujolais region starts with the first certification, the sustainable certification. So they are a pioneering region by protecting the vineyard and the environment before the other regions.
Fantastic. Well, everybody understands, and Jean-Marc and Annick are very passionate about their terroir, what they do, and that's why we select this Beaujolais Beaujolais estate, is because their terroir is obviously run. I mean, their vineyard is technically run as a high environmental structure, meaning then they are very close to be biodynamic certified. They're using the technique for the past 30 years to make this vineyard very healthy. You can test it in a glass, very clean, very healthy, very bright. And that's why we're so bright, so happy to represent Domaine Bel, to be part of our portfolio at Regency Wine and Hillside Wine in California and Nevada. So everyone, this is what Domaine Bel can offer to you for your wine list. Obviously, I want to thank everyone to be part of this meeting this morning. I want to thank, obviously, Jean-Marc Lafont and his wife, Annick, to be part of it. I want to thank Jérémy to obviously make this event happen. I believe then by showing those two wines today, we show you then the Beaujolais does have a great impact for your wine list. I think it's a great money maker as well, because it's great value. We will talk in a minute about prices. So stay tuned. I really believe then Beaujolais bring over a lot of different quality to your wine list. So take in consideration, then you should have at least 1 or 2 or 3 of the Beaujolais Crus on your wine list. If it's from Domaine Bel, we will be more than happy to supply those wines, which are in stock right now in our different warehouses in Reno, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. Thank you again for everyone. Jean-Marc, Annick, thank you so much. We will definitely we accept your invitation to next time we'll be in France. Then we definitely will stop by to enjoy your cheese and obviously your wine. Thank you again to do what you do and keep doing what you do. Make those wines shine on the glass. And I believe your passion for what you do as today really shine in the glass, as most of you didn't understand much about the French, but I can see, listening to Jean-Marc and Annick talking about their property, you can see the passion is there. So I hope everybody did enjoy this little session this morning, Breakfast of the Champion. We will see you next month, first Friday of the month, with something different. But again, today was Beaujolais with Domaine Bel. Stay tuned. In a minute, we will talk about the best opportunity for you to bring those wines over to your program. Again, everyone, thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Champion, you are the champion of the community, of the hospitality business. Keep doing what you're doing. Those restaurants are reopening. We're going to make a lot of sales, a lot of money. Let's do that. Sell, be happy. That's what I said.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.